The regular season for the 2023 NBA draft class is now over. And so now it's time to look back on their seasons, talk about what has happened with the most interesting rookies of the class, and talk about what could potentially happen for them into the future. And as always, we have to begin first overall, Victor Wembanyama. Not going to spend a ton of time here just because I've made plenty of videos on him throughout the year, right? And everybody's aware of how good Wemby is. But I talked about this before the season. I expected the defensive stuff to be there, not at the level that it's been at. I did not expect him to be a legitimate, top 2 contender for the Defensive Player of the Year award. Arguably should win the award depending on how you evaluate the winner of that award. I didn't expect it to be that good. I expected the rim protection and his ability to guard a little bit on the perimeter and his ability to take up space, but it's been even better on that end of the floor than I thought it would be. The side that I thought he would struggle on would be offensively, because I didn't know if he was going to be able to shoot the ball well enough. I didn't know he had the body control and the fluidity, but it was going to take him some time to really develop the skills, obviously maybe get a little bit stronger. He has exceeded every single expectation that anybody had for him as a rookie. And that's difficult to do. I mean, there was a lot of pressure on him, arguably the most hyped NBA draft prospect ever, potentially even since LeBron. It has been one of the most impressive rookie seasons that we have ever seen in terms of overall impact. Obviously, San Antonio is not very good, which honestly makes it even more impressive that he was able to be as good as he was, and especially down the last handful of weeks of the season, be as efficient as he was. The sky is the limit for Victor Wembanyama, and whatever San Antonio does in the offseason, I'm going to be incredibly intrigued by, because next year, they could be a playoff team depending on what they do. The year after that, they could be a contender. He is that good, and I can't wait to see him continue to develop. The guy that I was uncertain about coming into the season at 2 overall was Brandon Miller. I thought that was a mistake by Charlotte. I thought they should have taken Scoot Henderson and just figured out the fit of him and LaMelo Ball. He has been just unbelievably impressive. It wasn't super clear in Summer League or at the beginning of the season exactly what his role was going to be. He was coming off the bench a ton in the beginning of the year, and about 35 games in, they really started to trust him a lot more. And it's interesting because not only did he have a great season, not only did he show the defense, the athleticism, the shooting ability, a lot of very Paul George-esque stuff happening for Brandon Miller as a rookie. That's kind of the comp I keep seeing every single time I watch him play. But also, he seems like he would be an awesome fit alongside LaMelo Ball, because yes, he does stuff on the ball. He can create, he can hit pull-up twos, but also he can guard, he cuts to the rim, he offensive rebounds, he can hit spot-up threes. He doesn't need to be a ball-dominant player to be really, really high impact. And if LaMelo can get healthy, that's a backcourt that you can start to build around in Charlotte, and that is arguably the most valuable thing that Brandon Miller brought to the Hornets as a rookie, is a little bit of hope and a little bit of a glimpse of what the future could look like with an unbelievably talented backcourt in Charlotte. Unfortunately for Portland at number 3 overall, we cannot say the same thing about Scoot Henderson. This is quite frankly shocking. I thought Scoot Henderson had a chance to win the Rookie of the Year award. Like going into the season, I thought that he would be a decent guy to keep an eye on odds-wise for Rookie of the Year, because felt like he was going to get a ton of minutes, a lot of offensive opportunities, plenty of chances to score and facilitate. I thought he could average 16 and 8 on decent shooting efficiency, and depending on how good Wemby's numbers were, maybe he could win Rookie of the Year. There have been some moments where Scoot Henderson looked like the guy that he was supposed to be when he was drafted, but I am, maybe it's too early to say this, I'm already concerned that maybe he's going to be more on the Jalen Suggs kind of development arc of, he's just never going to be as good as we thought he was. He's probably still going to be good and guard and do some good things for you, but Jalen Suggs is like a really cool defensive player that can shoot a little bit. He's not an on-ball creator, and there's just, it honestly blows my mind comparing who Scoot was in the G League compared to who Scoot was in Portland. He wasn't finishing well at the rim, wasn't shooting well from mid-range. That got worse throughout the year. He figured out some three-point stuff part way through the year. Lots of turnovers, indecisive decision-making. There was something off the entire season. I don't know if it was a confidence level thing. I don't know if it was a coaching thing. I don't know if he was just never that good and he just looked good against G League competition. This is one of the most surprising things that I've seen from a rookie in a while. And I don't know where it's going to go from here, because you're going to have to prioritize him next year to figure out if he's actually going to be good. And I truly don't know what the future holds for Scoot Henderson. He's young. It's his rookie season, but I'm quite frankly shocked that his season went the way that it did. 4th and 5th now, I'm just going to kind of cover both of them at the same time. It's the Thompson Twins, Amen and Asar Thompson. They're both really good. I don't know that they're ever going to be super highly skilled, all NBA all-star kind of guys, but they're going to be really good NBA players and they're going to be valuable to their teams. They each have some passing instincts. They're going to try and figure out the shooting stuff. Unbelievable athletes, great rebounders, great defenders, versatile defensively, really cool stuff for each of those guys. And I'm intrigued to see how each of their kind of of developments pan out because, obviously Houston's a better situation than Detroit, but you might get more opportunities in Detroit than Houston. We're going to have to see how that continues to play out. But if you're a fan of either one of those teams, it's about as, apart from, missing some time due to injury, it's about as good of a rookie season as you could have expected from either of them in terms of showing the upside and then in terms of actual production as well. 6 overall, Anthony Black. I just get nervous with Orlando picking guards that can't shoot because I'm just like, okay, so is this Elfrid Payton? Like, Anthony Black's fine. Like, he's played a good amount for them. He can guard a little bit. He's got good passing instincts, good size. He can't shoot the ball. And like, as cool as it is to have some other skills outside of shooting, in this version of the NBA, if you can't shoot, you can't play. And I would be concerned if I was a Magic fan about having a top 6 pick that potentially just won't contribute in a meaningful way in the long term. And also their other first round pick could potentially be in that same boat, although not because he can't shoot, just because he might not be any good. It's really, really tough. Again, rookie, still trying to figure it out. There's a lot of tools there. If he can figure out how to shoot, he could definitely be a piece for them and has been helpful for them this season. But I just get nervous with the Magic when they have guys out there that can't shoot because even though they do have spacers on their team, they are still in need of more spacing. And so that can easily lead to someone like Anthony Black just kind of being the odd man out. Good rookie season. I mean, he had some moments. It's just when you think about the long-term growth and development of this team, I could easily see him kind of getting squeezed out a little bit. Next up at 7 overall is a guy that I don't know what it is. I can't quit like random lottery pick Wizards players, okay? Bilal Coulibaly, and then the other guy is Denny Avia as well. I think they're both good. I think they're both going to be good. I think they're both going to be able to guard. They're going to continue to develop as shooters, have some in-between game to them, a little bit of ball handling to them. Bilal's still super young, still a lot of room to grow and develop, but kind of similar to the Thompson Twins. Like, I don't know what else you could have expected out of a guy that was this unprepared to be an NBA player and still actually have some good moments. Again, similar to the Thompson Twins, I don't know if we're looking at like all-star, all-NBA caliber potential here, but really good player, and I just think there's a lot to like there potentially for him in Washington. A handful of other guys now throughout the middle of this draft that I just think are going to be good players. They're going to be on good teams throughout their careers. 10, Cason Wallace, guards, shoots, great energy, perfect fit there in Oklahoma City. Derek Lively at 12 for Dallas, came in, did immediately what you hoped that he would be. He was an athletic lob threat at the rim, guarded well, rebounded well, plays his 20-25 minutes, and is awesome for Dallas. Really cool long-term piece for them. 14, Jordan Hawkins, arguably the best shooter in the entire class. Unbelievable three-point shooter, something that New Orleans desperately needed. And for him to get as many minutes as he has this season on a team that is as good as New Orleans and has as much depth as they do was really, really impressive to me. Good rookie season for him as well. Keontae George in Utah at 16. Interested to see kind of what his long-term projection is. We've seen guys put up good numbers as rookies when they kind of have more volume than you would think, and then sometimes that falls off throughout their career. Want to see him round out his game a little bit more, but I do like him. I think he's going to be good. 18. We all know about Jaime Jaquez, right? Just the perfect Miami Heat player. He guards, shoot it decently well, can pass, has all these moves kind of in the in-between game, can work in post-ups, rebounds well. He's going to be there and he's going to be good for a while. Like, that's just what Miami does, right? And then 20 also is Cam Whitmore, who kind of was the story of the draft, right? For part of it, at least, because he fell. People thought he might be a top 5 guy, and he fell all the way to 20 because of, I think, some like behavior issues and some injury stuff. Some of the Cam Whitmore has some of the best highlights of any non-Wembanyama player in this entire draft class this season. I think there's a ton of potential still there. He can shoot the ball pretty well. Unbelievable athlete. And like, you could easily talk me into Cam Whitmore being like a top 8 pick in a redraft for this class after his rookie season. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with production, but that upside and that potential is still there, and it is crazy high upside as well. So we'll see exactly what happens with this class, but I wanted to kind of just do a quick refresher on some of the most important guys from the class and talk about how their rookie seasons ended up now that for most of them, their rookie seasons are over.